My name is Peter Thomas, President and Senior Engineer with Resource Compliance. We've put together this short video to give you an idea of what you should expect when participating in a PHA that is led by Resource Compliance. A process hazard analysis, or PHA, is an organized and systematic effort to identify, evaluate, and control potential hazards associated with the handling of highly hazardous chemicals. In short, a PHA is a study of risk. As the leader of the PHA, our job will be to help assess the risk associated with your system. PHAs must be performed initially when a new chemical process is commissioned, and updates or revalidations are required at least every 5 years. The text displayed on this slide was taken from US EPA's Risk Management Program regulation, but CalARP and PSM have nearly identical requirements. Additionally, it is appropriate to perform or update a PHA when a system undergoes a major change that introduces new hazards that were not considered in previous PHAs. It is worth mentioning that smaller systems may only be subject to the Program 2 requirements of RMP or CalARP. When this is the case, the facility is required to conduct a hazard review in lieu of a full PHA. At Resource Compliance, we follow the same protocols for both PHAs and hazard reviews, so we've settled on using the term PHA in either instance. Resource Compliance will contact the facility 2 to 4 months prior to the due date to schedule an opportune time to conduct the PHA. In general, we prefer to conduct the PHA close to the RMP submission due date so that the PHA and RMP due dates will remain on the same 5-year cycle. Special scheduling preferences due to workload, seasonality, or vacations can be accommodated when requested. PHAs must be completed by a team. At minimum, the PHA team must consist of team members with expertise in both engineering and process operations. At least one employee who has experience and knowledge specific to the process being evaluated must be on the team. Also, one member of the team must be knowledgeable in the specific PHA methodology being used. The more facility employees that can participate in the PHA makes the time spent more valuable. It is also beneficial to have a team composed of personnel with diverse expertise. For example, when performing a PHA of an ammonia refrigeration system, it is ideal to have team members with backgrounds in refrigeration, maintenance, management, human resources, and safety. For companies that rely heavily on outside contractors, it is helpful if a contractor employee can participate on the team. Resource Compliance regularly interacts with many of the CUPAs in California. As a result, we have tailored our standard practices to match the prescriptive regulatory requirements and the expectation of the local CUPA. For existing Resource Compliance clients, information regarding PHA methodology has been communicated to the CUPA when the CalARP program was originally submitted and reviewed with the CUPA. Where the local CUPA desires to participate in the PHA, Resource Compliance will extend an invitation after receiving approval from our client. It is ideal to perform the PHA at the site of the system that will be studied. This provides opportunity to verify the system configuration if needed. The PHA team will need to meet in a room that is large enough to comfortably seat each of the team members. The Resource Compliance PHA leader will bring a computer and projector so that all team members can view the questions that are being asked. Hard copies of the questions can be provided upon special request. It is a common practice of Resource Compliance to conduct the PHA in multiple sessions. The number and duration of the sessions will be determined by team member availability and system complexity. The first PHA session is typically used to introduce each member of the PHA team, review the requirements and purpose of the PHA, introduce the team to the PHA methodology that will be used, review the risk ranking matrix that will be used to assess risk, review any previous PHA recommendations that have not been resolved, review all incident investigations that have occurred since the last PHA was performed, review noteworthy accidental releases from similar facilities, and review important process safety information such as PNIDs. The Resource Compliance PHA leader will need to spend time walking the site to collect relevant system information and analyze risks. At minimum, we will gather pictures of each piece of equipment along with their nameplates, as this information is valuable in analyzing the system. The site walkthrough is also used to spot check the accuracy of key process safety information documents like PNIDs, relief system information, ventilation design, and safety systems. Once all relevant data has been collected, the team will gather to review and discuss each PHA question and scenario. In order to objectively rate the risk of each scenario that is considered, Resource Compliance utilizes a risk ranking matrix. The concept of risk is the product of the severity of the event occurring and the likelihood of its occurrence. The matrix that we use has a severity on the vertical axis and likelihood on the horizontal axis. In our matrix, a ranking of 1 is the least severe or least likely, and a ranking of 4 is the most severe or most likely to occur. To give you an understanding of how the matrix works, let's consider a scenario that has a severity of 2 and a likelihood of 4. As you can see, the corresponding risk is N, or not desirable. Details regarding the different risk rankings will be further explained prior to beginning the PHA. In general, resource compliance prefers utilizing the what-if checklist methodology for all PHAs. The HAZOP methodology can also be used upon special request. The what-if checklist methodology is easy for team members to understand since each question starts with what if. The PHA leader will explain the methodology in detail at the PHA. We all know the mantra, if it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. With this in mind, resource compliance will prepare a report which documents the entire PHA study. The report will be delivered via email. Inevitably, the PHA report will contain recommendations that must be tracked to completion. Recommendation due dates will be determined by the PHA team and assigned a responsible person for addressing the finding. According to the CalARP regulation, all recommendations must be completed within 2.5 years of performing the PHA, unless additional time is granted by the CUPA. We recommend completing all recommendations as soon as possible. Experience has shown that regulatory agencies often focus on the status of recommendations when performing inspections, so addressing all findings is extremely important. PHA reports are unique in that they must be kept for the life of the process. An electronic copy of the PHA report will be stored by Resource Compliance. We'd like to end this video by providing examples of findings that are commonly identified during a PHA. We encourage you to use this information to address any issues prior to the PHA and thus reduce the number of recommendations that are made. Common recommendations include pipe and valves that are susceptible to physical damage from being stepped on or impacted by a vehicle, service valves in the system lacking pipe plugs or caps and therefore susceptible to being inadvertently opened, pipe or equipment that has experienced excessive corrosion, high-risk process equipment that is located in an area that is unrestricted and therefore accessible to all employees and visitors, machinery rooms being used for the storage of equipment and supplies that could negatively impact the system, equipment that cannot be safely accessed for regular operation and maintenance, abandoned equipment that remains connected to the system, machinery room doors that lack proper signage, machinery room doors that do not swing in the direction of egress or are not equipped with panic hardware, equipment that lacks proper identification, important valves such as king valves lacking identification, gas detectors that are not functional or have not been calibrated per manufacturer's recommendations, ventilation systems with inadequate airflow or systems that have not been interlocked with detection, emergency controls that have not been tested, relief valves that are undersized, the incorrect set pressure, or haven't been replaced within the last 5 years, eyewash and safety showers that are not installed, don't have adequate water flow, or aren't located in close enough proximity to the system, failure to monitor the system daily, facilities that have not obtained important technical documentation such as manufactured data reports, P&IDs that contain inaccuracies, and SOPs that do not reflect the actual practice of the facility operators. This concludes our video on what to expect from a PHA. If you have questions, feel free to contact us at 559-591-8898 or visit our website at resourcecompliance.com.